Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects. This week we meet the Moses family. They share with us the steps they are taking to manage their family finances and to ensure they, as what we would say, make ends meet. Stay connected. We'll continue after this message.
You're watching ECCB Connects.
Meet Kwesi, the head of the 5-member Moses family. He is a farmer, fruits and vegetable vendor, and taxi operator. Kwesi and his wife Velma are serious about their financial well-being and securing a comfortable future for themselves and their children. They sit with financial advisor Quinn Martin to discuss their financial goals, the importance of budgeting, and how they involve their children in the planning and management of the family's finances.
I'm a farmer / taxi operator, and I do mostly fruits and vegetable selling, but on a daily basis I do more taxi. The challenge is that you get up early, you do not know what's going to face you, but you within yourself as an individual want the best throughout the day that God bless you with. And every day is just a day where you go out there to make the best of life and make sure that your children could have a better future.
My financial goal is to be mortgage free at 45. At a young age, I want to be able to be mortgage free. I want to be able to pay off for my mortgage and to retire. I want to be able to have my own business, because I see that sometimes we think we have to go for the cap, which is 62 years, or the government 55 years. But my goal, the way that I am structuring myself financially right now, is that we are investing to meet that goal.
Well, yes, as my wife said, that we want to reach a stage that we don't owe no one, no mortgage, we can travel more often, and we can just enjoy life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But for now, my goal is that I already have started my apartment. But before the year even starts, I already get something that I want to accomplish. And the only way you will know that you succeed is when you plan something and you can actually bring it to completion. Yes. So at the ending of the year, I already set out certain things that I want to accomplish. And thus far, I can say that I'm on the right path. And I always look back at the Bible as a great example for anything that in life, You don't want to be an individual that floating on the sea, depending on the tide to toss you, and wherever the tide toss you, correct, there is where you belong. You as an individual need to know that, your lack of wisdom you ask God, who is full of wisdom. Yes. Because we know even though we set goals and so, without God in it, nothing is possible. That is part of my goal in seeking God in everything that I set before me.
And you know what I gathered from both of you? Your goals are SMART. SMART being an acronym for specific, measurable, you know it, achievable,
realistic, and timely.
There we go. Nice. So it tells me that you're already on track. And I like that, because sometimes persons just set goals, but they're not specific. They don't know exactly where they are going. And I'm pretty sure, based upon what you just said, Mr. Moses, you have a budget in place, because, you've told me some things that you are already working toward. And Mrs. Moses, you are in the process of wanting to pay off your mortgage early. And in order to achieve that, you must have some type of budget in place. Is that correct?
Yes.
How important is having a budget to you? How does that help you to meet your goals in that specified period of time?
I would start this question. Most importantly, you have to know who is better at budgeting.
Like that.
That's number one. who is better at spending the money,
Yes.
and the one who loves to save, because you have to kind of limit the one who loves to spend. So you have to know who is better at budgeting. So in our relationship, it goes flip.
Okay.
And monthly flips sometimes, because sometimes I like to splurge.
Okay.
And sometimes he's the one, this month is not the time. But in general, we have a mindset, and that's when it comes to budgeting, we know that we want to meet this goal. So if one trying to get off on a tangent, the other one can, get the one straight, focus onto that specific goal. So when it comes to budgeting, we have our normal, expenses and so on. But even within that, we still have to make time for the family.
Yes.
Because we are young, we
course.
have children, we have 3 children, and we still have to try to make time, at least, even if, we budget, either going to the movies, either going for a lunch or whatever. So even the general expenses, we have that. And then we usually use our, what we would say, saving. We are investors.
Yes.
So we always invest. So we don't necessarily use the term saving.
Okay.
So we always use a term as sellers. You're sellers, you want to spend to get back something.
Correct.
So we always spend in our mind to get back. We always envision how would this money give us back something at the end of the month or at the end of whatever specific period.
So you raised some very important points as it relates to a budget. It's not only something that you allocate toward a specific goal, but you also need to have money set aside to live on an everyday basis, to enjoy life. And you also mentioned about traveling and doing different things with the family, going to the movies, etc. Does that mean that you include the children in the budgeting process? How do you go about doing that?
Well, yes, and my kids, they are right over there. I'm going to call them know that they can indulge in the conversation.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
yes, come.
The young Moses.
Yeah, this is my daughter Faith, and that's my
nice to
elder
meet you,
son.
Faith. Nice to meet you.
Jeremiah Moses. Looking at it, we take family important, and they are the future. And in order for get a brighter future, we have to teach them from a very young. So as you talk about budgeting and how we include the children to be a part of everything that we set in, we as a family, we try to share with them and involve them in our business, to let them know the much larger schemes of big money and how we spend. We tell them the part that they want to hear at this age, but we didn't include them in our setting and business and thing, and they can be a testimony.
To them, we have them engage in church saving, in church tithing, and we have them in everything, and we are a family of giving. So we love to give. So even though we cap on financing and spurging and doing all those different things, we always believe in giving. So they are testaments of what we tell them everything. We lay out everything. We have them see, so they're gonna talk a bit more. We open accounts for them, so they're gonna talk and everything.
So Jeremiah, how are you today?
Good.
Excellent. Well, your mother and your father did speak about the budgeting process. How do you feel sometimes if you want something, but unfortunately, mommy and daddy said that you can't get it at that particular point in time? How does that make you feel?
Well, sometimes I feel mad, but afterwards I feel good because I start saving up money and it's making me feel better. So I have to buy something when I come older.
Okay, wonderful. That's a great habit. So what that tells me is that if mommy and daddy does not want to pay for something for you at a particular point in time, you are independent enough to put aside some money so that you can purchase it on your own in the future?
Yes.
That is a very, very good habit. What about you, Faith? How do you feel if mommy and daddy tells you that they can't purchase something for you?
I feel mad and sometimes sad. Then I don't feel happy afterwards because when I get older, I could buy my own things.
Okay.
And then one of the things that both of them have the same understanding because we let them know the goal. So even though we would tell them, no, you can't have, you could ask them, why mommy and daddy cannot give you something? They would be able to understand and give you the same understanding because we explain to them. So, if we cannot, because sometimes they make the joke, they would come and say, oh, mommy, you don't have any money? Because they mostly would see their father doing the building. They would mostly see him, daddy has to buy blocks or whatever. So they would, they would get that kind of understanding. I cannot really ask them for certain things.
And one of the things that I proud of my kids for, the very understanding. And I feel like that is something important as a parent because they are children and children will always wanting for stuff.
Yes.
But not all the time stuff that you want you will get because we want them to see the bigger picture. Whatsoever investment that we make today is not only for us but for you guys. And I always tell my wife too that it's not really as a parent you making investment for them, but they could see your kind of hard work and work ethic and wanna build on whatsoever foundation we set. It's not about we working all the time and put things in place. It's about we working, enjoying life, that you can get an experience and build on the legacy that we left.
Because
Absolutely.
we always just tell them, even though we work for this, you need to have wisdom to save it and capitalize on it.
Correct.
Because if you're not wise enough, you would lose everything that we work hard for. This is just to show you, to push more. If mommy and daddy can do it, you can do it and do it better.
Absolutely. What you just said is so important because it tells me a number of things. First and foremost, it tells me that saving is a family thing. It's not just an individual thing. And it also tells me that finances start where you're not only sharing information with your children, but you're setting the example. Something that they can see you doing. So the information that you give them, you are actually living it out and giving them an example that they can follow. So I want to commend you for setting that a good example for your children to follow. Moses family, I want to say it was absolutely a pleasure speaking to you. Faith, Jeremiah, thank you so much for being a part of this session. I think that this certainly gives all of us a greater perspective on good money management, different things that you can do in order to maximize on your finances, the things that you can keep doing in order to ensure that your budget stays on track and you're able to achieve your goals. And I do believe that the general public will gain immensely from your perspective as well as the general discourse that we had. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of this session, and I want to encourage you for continuing to make your goals smart, for continuing to be financially savvy, and for continuing to make the necessary sacrifices to achieve your long-term as well as your short-term goals. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and I also want to thank you for, just to come and educate us, because there are certain stuff that you said in the interview that we too will apply to ourselves and to be better individual. So thank you again once more.
My pleasure.
And now for this week's financial tip.
Understand the difference between niceties and necessities, and focus on your needs rather than your wants. Be willing to forego the things you really don't need.
Here's where we end this week's episode of ECCB Connects. We met the Moses family. They shared with us their financial goals, how they make budgeting work for them, and the importance of involving the children in the family's financial planning. They also offered some tips to help you manage your family finances. Set financial goals. That is, know what you would like to achieve. These goals must be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Prepare and use a budget. And make saving a family thing. Involve your children. We'll hear more from the Moses family in our next program. They'll share with us what they are doing to build a solid financial future for themselves and their children. Be sure to join us then. Thanks for watching. See you next time.